Well, good evening everyone and welcome to League of Europe. Once again, I feel like I'm an imposter in the commentary box tonight. This is Division 2 action for the Japanese Grand Prix at the Suzuka International Circuit. I, of course, am James Head, going to be taking you through the stream for one night and one night only. And I'm joined in the commentary box by a very familiar voice. Mystery Man, reveal yourself.
Hello everyone and welcome to this D2 stream once again. I'm QVR for Stappen and I'm joining this time James Head here. So yeah, Dak had some issues with his PSN and PS4 just not working. But this time out, yeah, I'm still co-com, but another main com here. So let's do this.
At least I've got a co-commentator after that thrilling Division 1 race. And just to speak about that, Verstappen, briefly, you were in the thick of the action. Just talk us through, from your point of view, what happened out there.
Yeah, so basically we had, it was quite a DRS train. The top 5 or 6 went away. And behind that, there was just a lot of battles. Myself, Campbell, Heldorn and Short were quite close together, and then we had Chapelilly and Toxic approaching each other, and it was quite a few battles, quite sweaty as well, but it was good fun. So yeah, I hope we see somewhat of the same tonight here in D2 then.
I really hope we see a very similar race to that Division 1 race, and I tell you what, Division 2, you're in for an absolute treat. Coming into tonight, it is Gary who takes the championship lead on 200 points. And he's got a bigger championship advantage actually than Alphatrix has compared to Louis coming into tonight as well. 172 points to Dan in second, of course now known as Excel Gary and Excel Dan. Of course, needless to say why they've been called that, but Kuki Games in third on 157 points as well. Top 3 coming into tonight. By my calculations, it is, 43 points separating the top 3? Obviously, you've been watching the last couple of weeks here. Talk us through how these guys have been doing out on track.
Yeah, well, so we had D2 is always quite a bit of a gamble. A lot of things happen often, and the races are always good. It just never fails to disappoint. So yeah, the last race apparently in Russia was quite a hectic one. Started dry out, but ended in intermediate conditions, and that was White starting on the mediums could go from medium straight to inter, so that helped him really, got the win. And the top 3 they were decent of pace. Cookie finishing 6th place after a few guys on mediums had jumped him. Gary finishing in P8 I think, and Dan was in P7, so they were all quite close together, but no major advantage being pulled that race. Of course, Gary's still in the lead. He's been quite consistent, really consistent throughout the season. Yeah, so it's gonna take one hell of a race to get Dan or Cookie back into that, but it's not over yet. We still have 4 races to go. So I started with Suzuka tonight. Always quite action-packed often, so let's see how that goes on.
Yeah, four races to go, but just looking at the standings, top 6 are still within a chance of taking the title. Although it might seem very unlikely for YHYY, who's on 120 points in 4th, J. Cole in 5th on 112, and Carmentalist in 6th on 109 points. Those 3 guys, though, are still within championship reach, and hopefully we're going to see just as a good battle tonight as we have been seeing in Division 2 coming into tonight. Rick is in 7th, just to run through the rest of the standings, on 89 points. You can probably hear how croaky my voice is after Division 1. 89 points for Rick. Nico in 8th on 88. QVR Nico, of course, in 8th on 88 points. Killer Blue in 9th on 82. And McCrew in 10th on 69 points. Dylan in 11th on 66. Mark in 12th on 61. Quite close, actually, in the mid-pack. Harry in 13th on 60. The name that I butchered in the 24 hours of F1 there. So I'm just calling him Harry for tonight. B. Morgan in 14th on 55 points. ILRT Matty is in 15th on 52 points. Then a bit of a gap to Asheen, who's in 16th on 33 points. Maledictus in 17th on 24. Super Gamer in 18th on 21. Daniel, let's just call him Daniel, in 19th on 6. And the rest, Maurice Flying Cooper, Sparholt, PMP Louis, and Lordy MK, who's I'm under the impression he's making his debut here tonight.
Yeah, and let's see how that pans out for him. It's gonna be quite a race, I guess. Like a bit of pressure maybe on him. Let's see how that pans out.
Well, if it's anything like the debuts that we saw from a couple of the guys in Division 1, this should be fine, I think. It's 19 drivers here tonight. We should see some phenomenal action, as I say. We better get going, as I say, for Division 2. Racing Point, though, leading the team standings on 288 points. They could possibly wrap up the title for the Constructors within the next 2 races. 288 points for Racing Point. Mercedes in second on 227 points. Haas in third on 202. Red Bull in fourth on 181, with Toro Rosso in fifth on 175. McLaren in sixth on 168. Ferrari in seventh on 143. Williams in eighth on 97. Alfa Romeo in ninth on 73. And Renault in 10th on 72. And just comparing actually the standings, the Constructors standings from Division 1 and Division 2, it seems to me as if Division 2 is very consistent when it comes to the drivers actually showing up every week, racing, and then scoring points, because that is quite a close Constructor standings there.
It definitely is, and with a few races just thrown up by the weather conditions or whatever, safety are coming out, it's definitely been a mix, so every team scores at least quite some decent points often. And you said 19 drivers, but I think we're still waiting for IRT J. Cole to join us. He's finishing up his D3.3, I think.
Oh yeah, actually, you're right. Yeah, J. Cole is not in the session just yet. It's a good spot there. See, I didn't even realise that, to be honest. That's how lackadaisical I am. So that's why I need a co-commentator in for Division 2 tonight. And it's a pleasure, as I say, to join you in the commentary box. I feel a bit of an imposter, as I say, but a big shout out to Daka, to Dan, who has been doing an absolute unreal job in Division 2, slowly becoming possibly one of the best commentators here in League of Europe. And that's coming from the best commentator in League of Europe. I think Daka, honestly, has done a phenomenal job. And do I let you in for a bit of a secret on this Division 2 stream for next season?
Yeah, why not?
Well, I have asked Mark and the organisers if I can try and poach Daka to be co-coms with me next season. I'm not sure of the response yet, but the offer is there, and I'd love to have him alongside me. I think, honestly, me and him, and me and you, hopefully, will be great tonight, but Daka has really proven himself to be one of the best commentators here in League of Europe, and it's a big shame he's not here tonight, but as I say, I'm filling in, and you guys are in for an absolute treat. And I think with Japan, 18 corners awaiting the drivers, 1 DRS zone, if it's anything like Division 1, we're going to see quite a race.
I definitely think so, if that is, or anything like a regular D2 race. Yeah, it's going to be quite a decent race, I'm expecting. So let's see how that comes out, as the drivers are already up. So we'll go underway quite shortly then.
Yeah, we're going to get underway in just about 20 seconds time or so. QVR Chill, we meet again as well in the comment section. Good evening to Chill. Of course, if you are just tuning in, it's myself, James Head, and QVR Verstappen going to be taking you through the stream here for Division 2. Daka not here as a result of system software issues to his PS4, but I'm keeping the seat warm from him. Hopefully going to be attending back next week for the final 3 rounds of the season. And I know I'm not available next week, so you're stuck with me for the night, I'm afraid. Which is not too bad, is it?
Nah, it's not too bad. Can
Not
deal
too
with
bad.
it, but let's see how this pans out. Let's see if it's dry or wet, because a wet race could throw in some spice into the championship fight, and of course just the race itself.
Well, it was pure dryness in Division 1. If anybody hasn't watched the Division 1 race, it was dry. and then qualifying it was dry but a bit overcast. Looking at what happened in Division 1, with the tyres especially, do you see drivers going on a set of soft compound tyres early on in qualifying like we did in Division 1?
I could definitely see that. As probably quite known, this track is an easy soft to medium strategy. So I'm expecting the softs to be pulled out right away. Maybe a few old ones going out to mediums. But as we can see on the screen right now, it's overcast, but it's dry. So let's see how that pans out. Just waiting for the first drivers to go out on track, get the setups ready, and let's see how this goes. Let's see if Gary is once again the first one out on track, because that's quite a habit here. So.
See, we'll have to pinpoint our eyes towards that Racing Point garage, because I think, and J. Cole has left the session, which is a shame. There is a car coming out on track. I've seen an engine wear up. It's coming out of the Williams, and I think it is McCrew, if I'm not mistaken, coming out of the pits. Well, let's have a look. It is McCrew coming out of the pits. So McCrew first out, so Gary, unfortunately, gets his crown taken for tonight off McCrew. But he's first out on track, and interestingly again, set a soft compound of tyres. Lap times obviously went into the 126s. We should be seeing the guys low 127s, I think, tonight.
Yeah, and as I know, Axel Dan is, well, really looking forward to this race. He says it's his favourite track. And I know from experience that he is quite quick here. But I think Gary and Cookie Games and, of course, a few others will be up there as well. The qualifyings are proven to be quite close often. But let's see. McCrew, I think, should be one of those guys that could challenge for a pole position.
You've heard it here first. You've heard it here first, honestly. I think, McCrew, I think, has got a good chance of possibly gaining pole. And to be honest, with Division 2 being quite wide open, anybody could really take this to take pole position, I think, out on track. It should be quite a thing to watch. McCrew is getting on with this outlap, and he must be about 20 seconds ahead of the rest of the guys who came out the pits. But what I'm going to do, and I'm not sure if Daka does this, but I'm going to let you commentate through a lap on McCrew.
Yeah, he does that quite often, so let's see. He's just slowing down before the casino triangle. The quite difficult chicane, don't got too much of it. Coming in down in third gear to get traction out of turn 17 and into the last corner of 18 with a little bump there. Coming and open the DRS to start his lap. And McCrew coming up into turn 1 and to double right-hander. Flat to turn 1, turns the engine down into third gear. Fourth gear shifting up and through the S-curve. Turn 3 and 5th, then down into 5th once again for turn 4 and 5th. In the 5th corner in 5th gear as well, down into 4th gear for number 6 and down into the Dunlop curve. Quite easy to lose the car there, but McCrew this is nicely coming up to the deck in the curve here, down into turn 8 and into turn number 9, difficult corner, get the traction rise, but McCrew does seem to have no issue with that. Come down into the hairpin, difficult corner, turn 11, don't lose the traction once again. Quite a few traction zones which are quite difficult to handle. Right-hander before the double left off the spoon curve, breaking at the 15-meter board and right in the curves a bit, but not too much. And on the exit, opening up towards this long back straight up to 130 arc. He comes down to 7th gear, 8th gear now, yellow flags a bit, should be some drive starting the laps. Just going right over the curve into 140 arc, braking at the 100-meter board a bit later. Come down to the casino triangle, was a bit deep. It seems to get the car around nicely. Close line as he has a bit of oversteer there, but McCrew comes across the line in a 127.915.
Fantastic lap, I think, honestly, there from McCrew. I think Rick is just coming through the first sector, so the other McLaren of J. Cole, I think, just starting off on a lap. Maledictus goes second. Just having a look on board. Gary, championship leader, coming around the final corner. How's the Racing Point man going to do? Goes second behind McCrew. So early stages, McCrew quicker than Gary, a 10th and a half. Second clear. Sheen just going third there in the Williams. There's quite a few times that you will probably see coming through. Matty is just coming into the pits there, marked through the first sector. B. Morgan around the final corner. How's the Mercedes man going to do on his first lap? Goes third. 2 thousandths off Gary. Wow, and 1,000th off. Maledictus is 1,000th off a Sheen as well as Carl Mentzler's goes for. So we're seeing quite a close qualifying already.
Yeah, that's definitely D2 like as Skillable comes around into P8, and I think that's Axel then. Let's see how he does. He'll slow bank a lap into P12 only. YHY coming across the line into P9, just ahead of his teammate that is 31 thousandths, and I think the next one to come around is Super Gamer, but he's on an invalid one. We gotta search for someone else. Rick is coming across the line and taking a tight line towards the finish line into P11 he goes. And I think that's Lordy starting his lap, so just waiting on otherwise. I think Jake will next.
Kuka Games just getting a little bit of DRS there from his teammate QVR Maledictus, and Kuka Games fastest in the middle sector. Let's see what the Slovenian man can do. Ex-Division 1 driver, of course, across the line. He's going to be well quicker than McCrew, and there you go. That is a lap and a half from Kuka Games. A 1:27.599. That could be quite difficult to beat, you know.
It could definitely be. He's a bit more than 3/10 quicker than McCrew, so it's a really good first lap for the Red Bull driver there. A few guys just to set their laps, just waiting on them. I think Lordy might be on a lap, but he's on an invalid one, importantly for him. So it's a bit of a quiet point now in qualifying.
Yeah, first round of laps pretty much done. We've got 17 drivers in on their laps. And looking at the top 12 in particular, just under a second separating the top 12. And as you say, Lordy has invalidated on his lap. I wonder if that was done maybe either through through Dunlop Curve into the Degner section, I'm thinking. Maybe for Lordy. We saw quite a few drivers pick up penalties there in Division 1. Louis especially within the race picking up a 3-second time penalty there in the race, as I say. Lordy coming around the final corner. Yeah, he is on a down lap and he's coming into the pits. So Lordy into the pits. J. Cole. He coming around for another lap, I wonder? No, he's into the pits as well.
He's indeed into the pits. I don't think anyone else is in. No, he's just invalidated as well. It's quite easy to invalidate if you're going on a quick lap here, as we speak. I think the two alphas are just on their out laps, so could be those guys to set to the next laps. Matty's almost starting his. Coming through 130R.
Yeah, he's just slowing the car down now towards the Casio Triangle through 16, 17 and 18. Very tricky. If you ride up the curb a little bit too much there, you will end up spinning the car, as you would on the bump as well. But let's ride on board and let's take you through a lap of LRT Matty here in Japan. There's a couple of cars coming out of the pit lane. There's Gary and Nico to the right hand side. Matty through to turn 1 and 2, looking very good through it, and the Alfa Romeo man very nice and nippy down to the inside of the curve there. Now through the 10RSs, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Count them up as he goes through the corners. Matty, the Dane, coming through, looking very tight to the curb here. Very nice through there, if I've got to be honest. Maybe even better than some of the Division 1 laps that we saw. Matty coming through the first sector. How's the Dane looking in the first sector? 31.8, quicker than McCrew through the first sector. So Matty will be hoping to try and get through the Degners and now up towards the hairpin at turn 11. This is looking good actually from him. Very hard into the braking zone. Through turn 10, you've got to brake as hard as possible to try and get that car stopped into the hairpin. Now through turn 12, getting the traction out of the corner and then running down, I should say, down towards this boom curve at 13 and 14. And this is where it could make or possibly break a lap out on track. And Matty's looking very good through there again, maintaining the power. And Matty's certainly impressing on this lap. We'll have to see what his middle sector's like. Got to be honest, he's going to go second, I think, with this lap. Matty through the middle sector, 1:11.1. Very similar to some of the times that we were seeing in Division 1 from the middle sector. Matty's looking good on this lap. Could he go ahead of Kuki Games, I wonder, through the final corner? Matty, oh, hits the bump, oh, he's into the wall. Right side end plate damage, he comes across the line, he still goes 5th. How on earth?
It's an amazing lap from Matty. Unfortunately, the bump caught him out. Wasn't looking to steady through the Casino Triangle, but still going 5th. And, he looks to have potential still in that lap. A lot of hits as well.
Oh, it's a shame. He's actually lost his front wing completely coming across the line. How on earth he is 5th though? with spinning through the final corner, you see no number of times drivers losing a second at least from that bump. Matty's kept the power on, hits the wall, loses right side end plate, gets caught on the grass, loses the car, and he still goes 5th. A very, very good lap, I think, from that. And even with front wing damage, and even with the contact against the wall, I honestly think Matty could be one of the ones to beat for qualifying. Might have just ruined him there, commentator's curse style.
Could definitely be. Let's see the other Dane here, Sparholt, is he making his debut, I think. Coming around the final corner, let's see what he does. Coming across the line, opening DRS, and goes up to P5. Good luck from the Dane.
How close it is actually between 3rd and 5th as well. 0.006 of a second between Gary, B. Morgan and Sparholt out on track. Very tight session currently. Kooky Games though out on top, 27.5. Just going to ride on board with... Oh, McCrew! Having a moment through the second sector, through Deckner 2. And McCrew, that is him done on his lap. Oh, Gary goes second. Good spot. I didn't ride on board with that. I was too slow. Gotta try and let me keep up, to be honest with that.
That's White for White. It's the next one, and yeah, I think he's just only improved on this time, keeping in P13. Still minor improvement. Next one, I think, is Axel Daniels. 0.8 improvement coming across the line. Let's see what he does. And 27.8 into P3 indeed.
1.7 second improvement needed there from Dan as well. How is everyone else looking on their laps? J. Cole 2.5 tenths up. There's a Williams coming through. And it's McCrew.
Don't think he's on a quick one.
Yeah, he's 4.5 seconds down, and into the pits he comes as well. So McCrew into the pit lane goes the Dutchman. Spotted 6th.
Harsh. And comes across the line quite shortly then. Tight line once again. And opening DRS into P7 he goes. And his teammate Mark is quite close in line, but he heads into the pits.
Yeah, Mark coming into the pits. He was 600s up actually on that middle sector. So hoping to try and set a good lap time. Lordy is coming through the middle sector. Again, I'm getting confused with all the cars. There's 20 drivers and I'm trying to keep up here. Asheen, by the way, had a moment coming through the Dunlop curve. He was in the gravel coming through the Dunlop curve, so he is down on his lap completely and is invalidated. Rick is down on a lap. Killer Blue is 7th. Is there anybody on a lap, actually? Lordy is.
Lordy might be so. He's coming through the back straight, and let's see what his middle split time is. It says his ERS is run out, which is quite odd.
Nope, 40% on my end.
I've just seen he set a lap time there. He might be a bit disconnected for me. That could cause a bit of an issue.
Oh no.
That could be, that's just for me though, I think. Because he's just coming across the line there for me. So it's a desync issue between me and him.
Where is he on track now for you?
Yeah, he's coming through turn 2.
He's coming through turn 2? Oh, he's coming through the S section for me.
Yeah, I think yours is correct, because my ear, like for me it says his ERS is running out all the time. So that's just a desync issue, unfortunately.
That's a shame. Lordy did go 16th, by the way. 28.470 was his lap time, so just to confirm on that. Super Gamer is coming through the hairpin, but is invalidated on his lap, so he's the only one actually not to set a time. Let's reflect on what's happened so far, though. Kooky Game is still out on top with that lap time of 27.5. Gary 2nd, Dan 3rd, McCrew in 4th. Gary just about to come out of the pits as well. B. Morgan in 5th, and he's just completed his lap with a 28 flat. So actually, is he on one? I think B. Morgan is on one lap. See through the first sector. Yeah, he is.
Like at 15 thousandths up, and coming for a turn number 9, second Gary even. And getting the traction down quite nicely, it seems. Coming down into the hairpin he goes. And takes a quite wide line. Don't touch the curb on that apex, because that will send your car spinning into turn 12. Then he goes up towards Spoon.
Just watching him coming through Spoon. I mean, oh, he's ran wide through there. That's an invalidation for B. Morgan. First invalidation I think I've seen there all night.
It does look like that. Might be a few other drivers who have, but it's not looking like there's been many. So have to go for other people, as I think either team Matty might be on the lap coming through the hairpin.
Fastest in the first sector he was.
Let's see, coming for turn 12, take the tightest line possible. Don't want to use most of the track there. Coming for a spin there, double left-hander, and keeps it in fourth. On the exit he goes, bit of oversteer it looks like. Keeps his car nicely though. And up to 140R, which is of course easy flattened these days cars.
Oh, this is a good lap.
110.9. That's an amazing, and he still has that chicane to come. Let's see, can he take it nicely now?
Don't catch the bump.
Let's see, coming across the bump, yes he does. And coming across the line at 127.2. What a lap!
Unreal from the Dane, 27.2. I knew he was going to be in and around there, but I didn't think he'll go 4/10 quicker than Cookie Games. Matty, absolute flyer of a lap. The LRT man up into the top spot. What a lap!
And I think as Mark is coming for a spoon corner, let's see, leaves the car a bit on the apex, but runs quite wide, using the track as much as possible. Sideline now on the straights. We have 2.5 minutes to go. Everyone will be heading out for the laps. 6 up goes Mark, so this should be a good lap time. Should be on for like P4 or 5 coming out into the casino triangle. Second gear, third gear on the exits. Bit of that lap it looks like. Coming across the line he goes, a 127.7 into P4 indeed.
Yeah, good lap there from Mark, finding 6/10 in the end improvement. Just having a look as well. Anybody else coming around the final couple of corners that I can spot? I think Gary is.
Gary might be indeed.
111.1
from his teammate Nico.
Oh, he is.
Has it full
he lost it!
And that's not gone well. And that's Gary's qualifying basically over.
Oh, that is a shame. He's invalidated his lap. But that is the difficulty of trying to give, as there was a desync in the background there. There was a desync. It was Super Gamer and one of the Renaults. I think it might have been Lordy.
Yeah, Lordy had some issues for me, so it might be just some connection issues as Matty has retired. Doesn't seem to be going on one another. I think Maledictus is the next one, but he's invalidated unfortunately.
Got his teammate, I think, behind, has he?
Yeah, but he's just starting the lap. I just have to see for other people to come around. That Dylan pace, so let's see. Coming across the final corner, and he comes across the line into P11. So just outside the top 10 he goes.
Yeah, goes ahead of his teammate by nearly 1/10 of a second as well, does Dylan. Commensurate on that lap, just starting one. Now, anybody else? Kivior Nico's coming through the middle sector, and McCrew.
McCrew and 2/10 up, so he might be on a good lap as well. Coming across 130 right now down into Casilla triangle. First, Gary takes quite a lot of apex speed. Seems to be quite nicely. And tight line once again, daring to go. Across the line into P4, just behind Gary then.
0.03 of a second, separating second to fourth as well. Out on track, unreal stuff here in Division 2. Jake holds on a lap, 2/10 down. There is another
Nico
car.
to P5.
Oh yeah, I was going to go on board with Nico. I've totally forgot about it. The Racing Point man goes up to 5th, 27.6. This is the difficulty of me doing solo comms and trying to get used to keeping up at the minute. But it's enjoyable, really enjoyable. We've got the Red Bulls giving a bit of slipstream here. Kooky and QVR Maledictus. 3/10 up for Kooky Games. This is going to be close.
Matty, then.
It's just going to be shy, I think.
Across the line, half a tenth, there he goes. 48,000 as we're used to from a good lap, but still in P2. One of the Haas guys, I think that's YYY, coming up to P8 then.
Yeah.
And Car Mentalist might be the next one coming across the line as well. He goes, doesn't improve.
He did it, yeah, he did improve. He improved 0.07 of a second. Didn't improve his position though.
He's in it to P6 then. And the two Mercedes guys, Dan coming across, no improvements for him. Be more into P8, there he goes. And Caleb Blue is the next one, but I don't think he's on an improvement. Anyone else?
No, the spar hold.
Super Gamer might be still on the lap, so let's see. He is disconnected. Lordy is disconnected ahead for me. So this might be a bit shady. Let's see how this goes.
Let's have a look.
No, it seems to be like it's just a red cross. It's a bit off seeing Lordy's car there, but coming across the line and he's run out of fuel, Super Gamer.
Yeah, I think he would have been. I think he would have been down as well on his time, to be honest, Super Gamer. 20th, and Lordy coming across the line. Look, he came into the pit lane for me.
No, he came across the line for me.
Oh, he came across the line for you. It was Sparholt that came into the pits. Another wonder. Oh, dear me, I'm seeing double vision. But it's Matty taking pole.
Yeah, I just want to point out once again how close this is, that we'll see on the results screen quite soon. I think there was a couple of tenths between P3 and, well, basically outside the top 10. So let's see how that is.
So, oh, I get 500 XP. 500
That's always
XP.
amazing.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Matty taking pole position there, ahead of Cookie Games. And it's Gary and McCrew on the second row. Then Nico and Oysen in behind. The three Irishmen lining up there. Mark and B. Morgan as well. Dan and White Boy running up the top 10. Then for three tire choice we have Parholz, Killablu, Jekyll, Dylan, Fermentalist, Rick, Maledictus, Daniel, Lordy and Super Gamer. And as I said, between P3 and, well, basically P15 is 0.5 of a second.
Wow. 0.5 of a second and less than a second separating the top 15 as well coming into tonight. This could be a great race, but is it going to be wet? No, it's going to be same conditions as Division 2. It's Division 1, sorry. Dry. I'm happy.
Yeah, it looks to be quite sunny as well. Few clouds there, but doesn't seem to be doing any harm. So let's see, a few drivers might be opting to start on the mediums to try the opposite strategy and maybe looking to benefit from that in the second part of the race, coming on fresh softs against warm mediums.
Just having a look at some of the comments that have been coming through in Division 2 stream as well. Many Toxic coming in and giving a comment there to KVR Chill. Already won Division 1 by jogging. Time for cycle, I think, says KVR Chill. No wet race, Jav, sadly. And Larkin, love to see the James Verstappen combination. Thank you very much, Larkin.
Indeed, thank you a lot. And let's hope this we can provide you with a great race here. So I think it's quite time to have a look for the tire choices. As there's absolutely no variation outside the top 10. Everyone opted for the mediums.
To be honest, I'm not surprised by how far they went on a set of mediums in Division 1. We should be seeing these guys get from what, lap 14, 15, 16 before pitting for set of softs?
I could see that, but I know from experience he can last the mediums basically all race. So let's see if anyone actually opts to do that. Gamble on a late safety car perhaps, benefit him a lot. That's quite a gamble to take.
Oh, this is going to be quite an interesting race. Of course, a bit of 50-50 variation on the tyres. Everyone on the top 10 starting on a set of soft compounder tyres. Everyone in the bottom 10 starting on a set of medium compounder tyres. As a driver, you being in Division 1 obviously, whose shoes would you be in coming into Division 2 tonight? Who would you take the place off if you were in Division 2 tonight?
Well, it's quite a difficult one. Of course, like on Gary, there's quite a lot of pressure, and for Dan as well to make up some grounds. And outside, I like Matty, of course, he's been quite unlucky previously, and I'd love to be in his shoes. Just a little bit less pressure there. Cookie's holding up the pack a bit behind.
He is, but I think it's to try and maybe put a sense of fear maybe into the drivers behind. Cookie letting them know maybe that he might be good off the start. Top 3 from you, Verstappen. Who's your top 3?
That could be a difficult one, but I'm gonna say Matty for the win. McCrew is gonna get second place, and Cookie Games will finish third.
Interesting. Do you want to know my top 3?
Yeah, why not? Go on.
I'm going to go Kooky Games for the win. I honestly think he might just get the start off on RRT Matty. Second, Sheen from 6th. I know his pace, he is good, and the Irishman should deliver a good result. And for third, I'm going to go Gary for third. So there, you've heard the right prediction here first, maybe. But I'm going to let you take the start.
That's just waiting on the 5 red lights to go out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and away we go. It's looking like Matty has a good start there, just ahead of, and fence Cookie off. Gary just fending McCrew up, and seems to be all clean up ahead. Let's see him behind as well. There's a few guys going side by side, including Oysen and B Morgan, and making a bit of contact. B Morgan just pulling ahead, but seems to be all clean off the starts. No major incidents then. Just a few guys going side by side, including Lordy and Daniel still there, as Lordy's desyncing once again for me, but that's not too great. But yeah, it seems to be all clean, and Matty has a good start, 5 tenths away from Cookie, who's on respectively 5 tenths away from Gary as well. And just looking by, it's a bit closer there between the soft runners at the back. Let's see. But yeah, it seems to be all clean.
Oh, Commensalus ran the outside of Sparholt, going around the outside of the hairpin, gets the job done. Ran the outside, great commitment there from Commensalus, and look at J-Call and Rick as well, side by side and behind. And Rick's gone through on J-Call. And I think, has J-Call got left side end plate damage? No, he hasn't. I think it was Daniel that picked up left side, right side end plate damage for Daniel. I saw somebody's front wing.
Yeah, it does look like that. It's quite slow here. So it looked like he has an unfortunate incident. Maledictus on the back of J-Call as well for P16 here then. And he's looking to go for a move down into the chicane. J-Call breaks later, however. Up ahead we have Sparls, and Carmento's going at it once again. And Carmento's pushing Sparls a bit into the curves to get that position still. Gotta watch out for Rick as well in behind. So a bit of these things still going on for me. It's quite annoying. Let's see. Sparl just stays ahead there into turn 2. And yeah, very clean start by these drivers. No chaos. Well, let's see, Matty's still ahead of Cookie Games. Looks to be pacey. Gary not far off either. McCrew and Nico, of course, there as well.
Yeah, looking good currently out on track. I mean, lap 2 out of 27, and we've only had one bit of front wing come off, and that was Daniel through turn 1, where he looked
onto the back of McCrew, down into the hairpin. Can he go for it? No, he won't. He was looking quite close. His crew fenced that inside off quite aggressively. Let's see. In behind we have Oysen again on the back of B Morgan. Yeah, it's still all one big train, it looks like. Just Lordy and of course Daniel had to fit. There's that damage. They're not in the train, but it's an 18-car train here. Cookie and Matty do have a bit of a gap to Gary, so that might be changing quite soon.
Yeah, it's looking beneficial, I think, for the front 2 out in front. Gary obviously in 3rd position, 1.1 seconds behind the top 2, and that gap is just beginning to increase. So Matty is dragging Cookie along with him. Gary just about coming across the line there, 2nd behind. McCrew in 4th. Nico in 5th has got a good start. YHYY Sheen.
Yeah, they're going side by side down at
look at Dan!
He's trying to pull through as well. It's looking like Oysen just pulls ahead of YHYY there.
Very close,
he retains in 8th place. Indeed, very close, but clean as always. Let's see.
Yeah,
no real moves here.
Yeah, I took that from Dan's perspective, that move, and Sheen just shut the door purely on the fin, and the Irishman through, and he's up into 8th position. Battle for the lead though, 5/10 of a second, and Kookie, much better X out of the Degna 2 on Matty. I wonder, well, of course, he's going to have to wait for the DRS next time around, so it'll be at the end of this lap he'll get the DRS, but that poor run out of the hairpin might have just cost him a gap, and that lets Gary possibly back into play, 10th behind as well. But a very good start. The top 5 beginning to break away. Mark is just beginning to come under the pressure a little bit from the likes of B Morgan and Sheen and behind. And Mark is losing time now to Nico.
He is losing time. The top 5 is indeed pulling away. Let's see, Mark might be under pressure here into the chicane, but I don't think B Morgan is close enough. YHYY, however, is close to Oysen. Is he going to try and move down into the chicane? Has a bit of luck, doesn't go for it. And he has to wait to maybe into turn 1. As B. Morgan heads into the pits, he might have damage or he's just going for a really early undercut. I think it maledict this round at the chicane there.
Yeah, B. Morgan into the pits, J. Cole into the pits as well. Not sure what has happened there between and maybe for a fresh set of tyres. It's not 23 laps on a set of mediums did work with somebody in Division 1. It cannot be going 23 lap all mediums are going to be quite hard to really get to the end of the race, but B. Morgan has taken a big gamble, no front wing change at all. So B. Morgan into the pits, it's purely to get a bit of clear air. Bit of a interesting strategy call that.
It definitely is, but I think those mediums will be coming for it too, as Dylan already picked up a time penalty. He's quite early in the race for that.
Yeah,
so
that
he's
was
not really in the rhythm, it looked like.
Yeah, it was on the outside of Degner too. I caught that from Commentator's point of view. It was on the back of him coming up towards the hairpin. Battle for the lead now getting going though, 4/10 of a second, and the two Toro Rossos will be right on board, 11th and 12th. Dan trying to get closer to YHYY. There's a lot of good battles, but nobody's really close enough to get the move done. And honestly, it's the symbolised, the symbol here of a DRS train. You cannot get past. Simple as that.
It definitely is, and of course, being the grid so close, it's gonna really affect moves to be happening there.
Kooky Games, sorry to cut in there. Kooky Games just getting caught on the bump. Nearly had a bit of a half spin coming off the bump. He's on the back of Matty running down. Dan is into the pits.
Yeah, it looks to be a Mercedes strategy then, going for an insane undercut here.
This similar to yours and your teammates in Division 1 by any chance?
It could be quite similar to that. Let's see, it wasn't that. It wasn't this much too. For us, I think I pitted lap 6 and yeah, my teammate pitted a bit earlier. I think he had some damage as well, so that really didn't help for him. But anyways, onto the D2 once again. Cookie is still close to the back of Matty. And will he try and undercut or will he try to do it on track as the two Toro Rossos are close together? And Squirrel's close to the back as well, if he picked up a time penalty there.
Trying to flick through at everyone else. Looking like a good race. Lordy under pressure from Super Gamer. Oh, and there's PG-18 going on right there.
Yeah, it's still the lead thing with Lordy.
Let's not focus on sexual intercourse out on track, why don't we? Gary's under pressure from McCrew, 3rd and 4th, and 5th in fact, and Nico I think is looking quicker than the top, out of 3rd, 4th and 5th. Nico's looking quicker than these two.
It does look like that. McCrew doesn't look to be lacking on pace either. But McCrew is on the back, and Gary heads into the pits for an early pit stop then.
I wonder if Nico's going to respond actually to the Mercedes pitting in as well. B. Morgan and Dan coming into the pits. Kooky Games are right on the back of McCrew. We're seeing a lot of position changes obviously with people coming into the pits. Super Gaming after 13th. Gary on a set of mediums, YHYY also into the pits on a set of medium compound of tyres. B. Morgan out of the final corner, ahead of Dan by 1.3 seconds. YHYY just on the cusp of exiting the pits now, and he's going to be behind both Mercedes. So YHYY out behind both Mercedes out on track, and I think that was how they were before they pitted.
I think YHYY was ahead of Dan though. Don't think he was ahead of B. Morgan, however. He was in between them. So the Mercedes have jumped one position, at least Dan has. Let's see, Matty and Cookie Games still close together, down into Spoon. Will Cookie go for something as Matty has a bit of a moment there. Cookie does run wide indeed, and Cookie onto the back of Matty, let's see. But I think he's just going to try and stay behind. He has saved his ERS way better than Matty. Looking at 83% against 12 basically. It's quite a big difference. Let's see if any of these two will head into the pits. Matty approaching, will he go for it? Yes, he will. Cookie will stay out.
Cookie stays out. Interesting that, and McCrew and Nico are in.
Both those guys indeed in. Let's see how they'll go onto mediums. Let's see where they come out.
Side by side, Sparhold and Dylan just coming out of the Casio triangle, and Sparhold has got the move done on Dylan. Out of the Casio triangle. I think he did it around the outside actually. So good move there by the Renault man, and he's up into 6th position. But look at Rick, he's on the back, he nearly went into the back of Dylan through turn 2. And the McLaren man under pressure, the McLaren man I should say, pressurising the Toro Rosso ahead out in front. Super Gamer, Maledictus, Matty by the way has got out ahead of Gary in quite a nice patch of air. 2.3 seconds of the gap between himself and Gary.
And Nico has jumped McCrone into the pits, and furthermore, I think McCrone's just lost time on this pit stop because the gap between the two racing points is quite new. So the undercuts for Gary has worked in comparison to these two there.
Yeah, good strategy call I think by the Racing Point team. And Nico getting ahead of McCrew, as you say, 1.2 seconds. A lot of good action though happening out on track. We've got a 4-way battle for 5th. Is this the hallmarks of another Division 1 battle between these guys? Comments to the Sparhold, Dylan and Rick. And Killer Blue's getting closer to Mark as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see the actual guys and D Daniel out of the race through Dector 2.
And Cookie Games now into pits, and that will benefit Cookie Games quite a lot.
Wow! Unbelievable strategy call, right? He was going to come in the pits anyways, I think, before the safety car even came out.
Definitely. He was already going for that. The medium runners are, not happy with this. I don't think they can go into softs and end the race, so they'll be losing a lot of time. However, Cookie, Oysen and Mark will be gaining a lot of time.
Yeah, Cookie Games is out of the pits in 5th position. Everyone's got to stick to their delta time, and Maledictus is now out ahead of Super Gamer.
And Mark, interestingly, has gone on to softs.
2-stop?
Is he gonna go? Has to be. He might try and I don't know what he's trying to do, honestly. Like,
I think Mark has honestly dug himself into a hole there, to be honest. I honestly think that's the wrong strategy call from him. 2-stop strategy, everyone on the set mediums, he's going to lose out big time.
Definitely looked like that. But yeah, Cookie Games has benefited from that. He now has his teammate, and Matty's teammate as well, in between himself and the other teamman. Gary might. Oysen has jumped up a couple positions, look at that. Ahead of Nico. Then it's Mark ahead of McCrew, the 2 Mercedes guys in behind. And then it's YY, Rick and Jacob, and then Lordy on quite some distance. I don't know how that looks for you, but it's 17 seconds behind Jacob for me.
He's in 18th at the minute, 2.7 seconds, but he is decent. Can't tell you that. He is decent, definitely on my screen.
That's quite unfortunate to have that. He's also like, every time he's coming across the line, he's jumping up to first and back down to last.
Yeah, so it's a pure
annoying.
Pure desync there. It's unfortunate. I haven't seen that though in quite a long time, to be honest. That glitch.
Yeah, unfortunately it is here now. Yeah, it's Killer Blue leading the way ahead of Carmen's Sparrow and Dylan. And then it's Cookie Games indeed, ahead of Maledictus and Super Gamer.
Any of the top 4 pitching in? No. None of the top 4 pitching in. Maledictus and Super Gamer stay out as well. I thought one of them might have actually tried to risk it. Go, essentially, they could have gone set of hards and went to the end, but they would have been at the back of the field. So,
it would have been, I think they might be just gambling on the safety car maybe at the end. We do see quite a lot of safety cars in this division. Often. Let's see, they're going quite slowly here.
Yeah, Dylan's holding up pretty much everyone in behind. Cookie Games nearly went into the back of him from the exit of turn 2. Third of the way through the race, by the way, and as Verstappen says, Killer Blue out in front from Commentalist in 2nd. Sparhold 3rd, Dylan 4th, Cookie Games in 5th, Maledictus 6th, Super Gamer 7th, Matty in 8th, Gary in 9th, Asheen in 10th, Nico 11th, Marco in 12th, the crew in 13th, B Morgan 14th, Dan in 15th, YHYY 16th, Rick in 17th, J Cole in 18th, and Lordy in 19th position. If you're just tuning in, by the way, to Division 2 and you're wondering who on earth is this imposter in the comments box, it is of course your Division 1 commentator James Head, and I'm joined by the brilliant QVR Verstappen. And we're having a good time of it so far. 19 drivers still in the race, third of the way through. Who's caught your eye so far?
Well, definitely looking like Cookie Games is on, well, has his win basically handled on the silver plate because of that safety car. If he keeps it on track, of course, that being. Yeah, he's looking really good so far. Oysen's been impressive as well. And yeah, other than that, it's not really anyone stand out because, well, it's been one big DRS swing, really. So I have to see for the remainder of the race how this is going to pan out.
Killer Blue expecting the safety car to come in. Should pop up now. Perfect. Killer Blue backing up the pack. Everyone got to be careful. They've got to leave a good car's width or so. And Killer Blue really backing the pack. This could cause a little bit of problems in behind. Might see a couple of loose end plates go off. And Killer Blue's really backing up the pack. 50 mile an hour. It's a racetrack, you know, not a speed limit. And Killer Blue backing up the pack and goes into the Casio Triangle, and this is the restart from the safety car. Killer Blue 6/10 away, but Comments has got a much better exit out of the Casio Triangle and is going to be on the back and maybe even past Killer Blue, running down towards turn 1. Good restart as well from Dylan in behind. He's going side by side with Sparhold, but here comes Comments for the lead of the race on Killer Blue. Can he get the move done down the inside? He can't. Dylan has got the move done though on Sparhold. Good start. Super Gamer's down past his teammate. XL Gary trying to go up the inside. Very good start, but quite a few caught out, I think. Quite a few gaps in between a few of the guys, with Super Gamer especially holding everyone up.
Yeah, it does look like as Alphas have swapped positions right after the restart. Matty now in P7 only has Cookie's teammates, luckily for Cookie, in between. So let's see how that stands out. As Cookie gets past Sparhold there, I think Sparhold has made a mistake.
Yeah.
Let's see, Cookie now on the hunt to Dylan as well. And he's looking really good out there. Still Killer in the lead then. As Gary, Super Gamer. Gary around the outside, can he make it work? And he might lose position to Oysen.
Yeah, he's going to lose the position here, the Irishman. Trying to go around the outside. Oh, it's going to be 3 wide in towards Spoon. Surely not, as Sheen's trying to go for a gap. That's not there, he's down the inside. There's going to be contact, surely. Have they kept it clean? Thought there was going to be inevitable contact there. Super Gamer's held on to the position. Gary and Ashina, look what this has done in behind. Look at the train in behind. Hop on board. This is like an express train towards bloody Amsterdam.
Look at Gary around the outside 130R. Can he make the mistake? It goes
no,
wide.
He's off track.
Ashina looking for a move. As Gary just laid on the brakes. Let's see. They get side by side with Super Gamer and Oysen looking for better exit
he's got
there
it.
as well.
Gary's got the move.
Well, Super Gamer is still there.
Ashina's going to get a double soul, surely.
Yeah, Gary trying to break the toe as well. Oysen down the inside of turn 1 on Super Gamer. Can he make this one mistake? Bit of contact there.
He's sliding
off, and this will benefit Nico. She's up into P9, Super Gamer P10, then Mark, and then it's Oysen.
Oh, McCrew! Oh, both Williamses nearly make contact as well. McCrew's through on Ashine. Ashine just getting caught up by that mistake and a little bit of contact. He did let through Super Gamer, by the way, which is important to stress. He did let through Super Gamer, so a bit of good sportsmanship shown there from Sheen, Super Gamer, Mark. And look at McCrew on the back. This race has taken literally everything by the scruff of the neck. Kooky Games under pressure from Sparhold and Matty down the inside of Maledictus. He don't know where to turn. I think we need a Ted Kravitz at this point, to be honest. Look at this. Maledictus and Matty side by side running down towards Spoon Cove. They hit each other. Matty trying to go down the inside line down towards Spoon. Maledictus gets the move done. So Matty's through and he's up into 6th, but a little bit of harsh racing there, if I've got to be honest. And maybe just a bit of a bump tap that wasn't really necessary.
Maybe it is, but it's a difficult corner to go side by side. Cookie on the back of Dylan has a bit of a looking down into the chicane. Doesn't look to be going for the move, and maybe down into turn 1 he will. He has a way better exit than Dylan. DRS now enabled, won't be for this one, of course. And Cookie looking towards the outside of Dylan. Looks to be having straight line speed though. It's going to be difficult for Cookie. Rounding out of turn 1.
No way!
And down to turn 2.
Oh,
can he make
brilliant!
This one stick? And a brilliant move indeed from the Rebel driver. And Sparrow looking in behind as well now to get past Dylan. One hell of an action-packed race so far. Of course, expect from here, from D2. And Matthew as well trying to push through, and he needs to catch Cookie once again. So let's see, Sparrold and Dylan of course being in between. It's going to be tough for the Alpha driver to actually make a move through.
Matty on the back of Sparholt, running down towards the hairpin, trying to look to the outside line. Could switch it back on the inside of Sparholt, just gives a little bit of a love tap there to Dylan. Slight love tap, but nothing too major. No end plate damage either, and Matty's on the back. He's now 2 seconds behind Kooky Games in terms of the gap for the net lead of the race. So just to bear up on that mind, Mark is trying to go around the outside on a set of softs against Super Gamer around the outside of Spoon. Trying to get the move done, but look at the train in behind. Mark trying to go down the inside now. This down towards 130R. The Irishman should be through, and he's got the move done. Look at McCrew, straight line speed. He's came from absolutely nowhere. He could go to the inside of both of them. Dylan and Sparholt are battling. 5 in a line, pretty much coming through 130R. Super Gamer's going to lose out. Asheen's trying to go down the inside. B. Morgan and XL Dan nearly make a little bit of contact in behind. Kicking off big time, Matty.
Getting past in and then on the straight.
Got him.
And he's up at the P6 then.
He needed that. He needed that move.
In behind, Super Gamer still on to P12 there. He's dropping for the field. Mark leading this, 8-car train really. From all the way to Jacob.
I think, honestly, you might be looking at a P4 currently. Kooky Games, Matty, Gary and Nico could be filling out these first 4 spots, because I cannot see anybody coming out of this pack and trying to gain. And the more Mark holds these guys up, and with Super Gamer involved in this little pack, the more these guys lose time, the more difficult it'll be to make it up later on in the race, even with clear air.
It's definitely going to be really difficult to get past that. Yeah, there's a bit of a train out as well behind Sparholt here. See some of those old mediums. He has Matty, Dylan, Maledictus, Gary and Nico now behind. They can be quite tough, and Cookie on the back of Commentless as well, up to 130 yards. He's going to try something. He's putting his DRS down, so it doesn't look like he will. He might just go for it into turn 1, 2.
Oh, I thought he was going to switch to the inside there, down into the Casio triangle, but yeah, he's going to wait for the DRS. Kooky, the Slovenian, on the back of Commentless, the Brit.
Looking at the back of Super Gamer. Going towards the outside of the Casio triangle and gets past there, looks like. Yes, he is. And Kooky Games getting past Commentless there.
And Matty's got past. Oh, Matty's trying to go around the outside of Sparhole, just in behind, sorry to cut in. But Matty's around the outside of Sparhole, what a move! Round the outside, fresher tyres albeit, but Matty through round the outside of Sparhole. Very similar to what Kooky Games did a couple of laps ago. Sparhole through, he's up to P5, what a move! Sorry, P4
yeah, really
I should say.
Move as B. Morgan's getting through. Super Game makes mistakes into the graph for a bit there. And Jacob getting through and White looking as well. Super Game is now into P18 and he's not having a great race so far. Meanwhile, it's Gary onto the back of Dylan and he respectively is onto the back of Maledictus as well. Is Gary going to go for a move down into the hair? Has a bit of a load. Doesn't go for it. White picking up a time penalty in the meantime there. Yeah, Gary is just getting held up a bit by these guys. Just a bit of a yellow flag, so don't know who that is.
Lordy through Declan 2, I think that was. Bit of a moment.
Could be, so he has these things, so I can't really see that. It's getting a bit more overcast here.
Is it going to rain?
Perhaps it is. We'll have to find out, I guess.
We'll have to find out. It will make things a lot more spicier, and it will actually bring, if it goes to intermediates, Killer Blue, Commentless and the likes, back into play, because they could play this down to the team. I think they might have stayed out there, maybe for the possibility of rain.
That is definitely possible. Kooky Games sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:30.863, really fast lap. Of course, having a bit of DRS from Commentless as well there on that lap. In behind, Gary still, he can't get past Dylan here. And yeah, it's quite tough when having a quick guy in straight line speeds just in front of you. Worn tyres.
Doing a fantastic job with these guys out on the track. Just to have a look at the current point standings as well. Kooky Games outscoring Gary out on the track by quite a way. And Dan is behind Gary out on the track. And here comes Nico, trying to go on his teammate down into deck the 1. Spaniard, I thought he was going to commit that down the inside. Goodness me. Hair in mouth moment, quite literally there. Gary is on the back of Dylan still, and Nico, again, he looks quicker, I think, out of these three. Gary tonight is on the back foot, and that for a championship leader is not really the best scenario to be in, considering the guy is under pressure.
It Does look like he's on the back foot indeed, and he needs to get past Dylan here. It's gonna be tough. Meanwhile, you have at the front we have Cookie closing up the kill a bit. I think he might try something into turn 1.
And the Casio triangles, let's see if he can get a good run out. Ferrari against Red Bull. Running down. I'm going a bit of a voice crack as he nearly catches that bump. Goodness me.
Gets a 5-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. It's the Casio triangle, but Cookie gets past Killer Blue for the race late here. And that's an easy move needs. White also getting a 5-second time penalty. He's bringing a bit of penalties. Matty up into P3 now.
Yeah, raining a bit of penalties currently, and I think that's purely because they might have track extended through the Casio triangle. We saw that a couple of times in Division 1. I picked up one further down the field, certainly. So these guys beginning to struggle maybe, and obviously those guys on more wearing tyres will struggle more. What's catching your eye out on track, by the way?
Definitely not too much again, but still Gary behind Dylan, and it's quite tough to get past.
Oh, Gary, oh my God!
Into the back. And will Nico benefit from this?
My
he will
God!
Turn down his ERS. That was really close for the Irishman onto the back of Iro Dylan.
I swear, honestly, Gary's going to give me a heart attack this race, honestly. Nico on the back, the racing points are going to go side by side, possibly in towards Spoon. I think Nico is just going to let T2 in League of Europe Formula 2. Sheen's had a moment, by the way.
Yep, he's dropped it. It looks like 3 S's there.
And that's one of my predictions. Oh, that's a 10-second time penalty for keeping out the way of people. That's an absolute joke.
That is indeed quite a joke, and quite unfortunate to see this happen by Codemasters. As Super Gamer gets a 3-second time penalty as well. Spalt indeed still on the back of comments list. Let's see if he can get a move done quite soon. The Renault driver onto the back of the Toro. So let's see. Spalt looks to be having a good exit out of Spoon Corner. Is he going to try
he's not, is he?
For the R?
No.
He turns his ERS down indeed, so he's not going to try it here. Let's look further down the grid if we see anything. Doesn't look like it, however.
Ooh. Looking very pacey though, Sparhold at this stage. Of course, one of QVR's newest signings as well. Doing a good job out on track.
It does look like he is doing quite a decent job, but he's onto the back of Commensal right now. Commensal is defending the inside.
Oh, down the inside!
What a switch back! Let's see, they're coming into contact with Commensal. Just about hold on. That's very close. Got a bit of a half heart attack basically, and it is rain.
If it is raining.
Yeah,
it
if you
is.
go on board with one of the guys, apparently the racing point's quite visible to see it.
Yeah, I can see it on Sparhold's car. It is definitely beginning to rain out on track. Sheen retires in the session. Just when it was turning to rain, he could have still been in the race if he tried to go on inters. Just saying, but...
It could have definitely been...
Oh, this is going to be quite exciting. When do you think, though, the change in the tyres will come? Obviously, it's raining out on track. I'm going to gamble and say lap 21, 22?
It could be, but it's looking to go quite quickly. I don't know. I have to see about that. Dan has dropped a few positions out the hairpin there, both in McLarens. But he's not having a great race for a title contender either. Let's see, and this will really help the guys in, well, who started on the mediums really.
Oh, look at Matty! Sorry to put in Matt. Yeah, Matty's right on the back of Killer Blue. Fantastic stuff.
Better exit, looks like he hasn't done.
Oh, Matty's into the pits!
Is he going to gamble for an early pits into the media of the
Sparlton, I think these guys are being told, you know, it is inters already. These guys are surely gambling. Jeff has probably told these guys to come in now, and we're seeing a lot of pit stops happening, and they're all going on to inters. I think that's what the case is. Mark should have pitted. He's on a set of softs. He's going to be well down the field.
Yeah, and definitely because his teammate has stayed out, so it's going to be quite difficult. But yeah, looking on board with, for example, Cookie Games or Killable, they're struggling quite a bit. Right on the cutoff points.
Spray is starting. Yeah, the spray is starting to come off these dry compounded tyres on track.
Yeah, that usually is the sign, as Cookie Games does get a time penalty then.
How? Oh, and he nearly loses it. Oh my god, he nearly lost it through Deck 2.
And DRS is disabled in the...
Didn't I say in the safety car stage that these guys would benefit from intermediate conditions? And look what's happened.
Yeah, definitely, yeah, Meanwhile, the other two title contenders, of course, Cookie being in P2, Gary in P9 and Dan in P11 is not looking good for those guys. Gary can afford a bit of points loss. Dan can't really. He's onto the back of Nico here into dash 1.
Right on the back, but you can see how difficult these conditions are. It's a good job I'm in the commentary box, so I would probably be struggling at this point if I've got to be honest. Dan on the back of Nico, and from dries to inters in the space of a few laps, the two title contenders under the caution. I think Kooky Games going to be the big beneficiary in terms of the title standings coming into tonight, and for the final 3 rounds of the championship it's certainly going to spice things up and really condense things for the top 3 as it stands.
Definitely, and let's see who has the better pace in the intermediate conditions as well, because that's going to be it's often quite different in the wet conditions than in the dry. Let's see if Cookie Games maybe has some pace at least compared to Matty. It's a bit of oversteer expectedly out of the final corner there. Quite tough in the intermediate conditions. Gary is now into the back of Commensalist, but also runs a bit wide there to avoid the bump again.
Cam's looking quite close to Nico coming out of the Casio Triangle as well. 4.5 tenths away running down the straight course. No DRS, they've got to do it the old-fashioned way in Formula 1. Of course, I was watching 2008, the British Grand Prix that they were showing on YouTube earlier on. And it bears in mind, I think, quite similar conditions to these now, with it being intermediate conditions, and with the title contenders under pressure, Dan trying to get past Nico. This is really the moment of truth to see where we are seeing Matty, just to cut in, 8 tenths of a second now to Kooky Games. Matty is struggling miles.
Train for the lead now. The Matty, Cookie, Killer and Sparrow then. Sparrow looking quite pacey again as well. And let's see what these guys can do.
Unbelievable. This is going to be a showdown for the last 6 laps or so here in Division 2. You do not want to tune out, trust me.
I can have a look for the top 4 on penalties, because I knew Cookie had one, so that's going to be quite difficult. Yeah, Cookie and Sparrow both have 1 penalty. Killer and Matty are clean.
Interesting. So Matty would be essentially winning this, and Killer Blue would be second in theory. Oh, Matty's lost it! Matty's lost it from the lead of the race! I can't believe it! Matty just having an overshot through the 130i. He's lost it completely on the opposite lock. He somehow kept it out the wall, but he's lost it. It was a horrible camera angle from a helicopter cam, but Matty has lost control of the car and he's down into 4th. And Kookie's now in the lead.
Has he lost anything off his front wing? It doesn't look like it.
No. He kept it out the wall, as I say. He kept it out the wall, and no left. It would have been left side end plate damage, but he doesn't have any.
That's quite tough to actually keep it out of the wall. He's lucky that he's still on P4. And normally, still, if he has some decent pace in the inters, it doesn't look like it. But
sorry to cut in side by side. Lordy going around the outside of YHYY. Job done for Lordy on his debut through up to 12th position, final point scoring position. And he's got it, for now, up to 12th. Good move.
Definitely a good move from the Renault driver. Let's see. It's, yes, Matty could still be on for a podium here, you know, if he can keep within 3 seconds of Sparholt then. Could be still to recover something from the Alpha driver. As Gary still under the back of Commensalist, has a bit of a look down into the hairpin. Commensalist defends quite nicely there. Gary has a bit of oversteer on the exit there. As Rick
Mark and Rick!
Crash here.
Mark and Rick through Digna 2. Yeah, I think they came together. They must have.
Must have definitely came together. Let's
Mark's waiting up. Good sportsmanship. Boxos right side end plate damage. Mark has right side end plate damage. Let through Rick. And I think Rick is clean on his front wing. So just, I think, purely maybe going side by side, or one of them losing it rather than the other. And
as Gary standing inside of Commensalist into the Casio Triangle, has to back out of it. He came from far away, but he's not being happy here behind the Toro Rosso driver, I can tell that.
Oh, bit of oversteer coming out of the bump as well through 1018. And now Commensalist hanging on. Commensalist quite a good weather specialist, I've got to say. He's driven in the intermediate conditions before in other leagues that I've commentated on him, and Commensalist certainly doing a good job out on track in 8th. position gains, by the way. Maledictus has gained 12 positions, just to point out.
Yeah, it's really good drive from him, and he's probably been the most unlucky driver throughout the whole season, really. Let's see if he can pull this one through then. And he is on for a 5th position. It's looking quite decent for him.
Dylan, 3 seconds. Oh, go on.
As a sector, the one as a super gamer is off there in the SS.
Oh, and he just about rejoins track ahead of some of the guys. He lets them through. Just about. Killer Blue, by the way, is looking quicker than Kooky Games for the lead of the race. He is looking so much quicker than Kooky Games, I think. He's gaining a couple of tenths per lap. Killer Blue 6 tenths off. Could come down to a showdown, and Gary's right on the back of comments, nearly shoving him the way through Spoon. Goodness me!
He's been looking eager all race, or basically the stint to get past the Toros driver. Let's see if he can actually do it.
Quicker through
close enough in Casilla Triangle. He does break later.
Oh, I thought he was going to go into the back. Oh. This is going to be a showdown. 4 laps to go. Kooky Games leads. Killer Blue in 2nd. Sparholt in 3rd. Matty after his spin in 4th. Maledictus 5th. Dylan 6th. McCrew 7th. Commensalist 8th. Under pressure though from Gary in 9th. And the Irishman down in towards turn 1 and 2. Not going to get moved on there. There's a lot of good battles though beginning to happen. And McCrew's beginning to catch Dylan as well, I think. The Williams man beginning to come into play for possible P6.
It does look like that, and Dylan has picked up a couple of penalties, so McCrew would probably already have it, but it would be nice for him to have it out on the track as well.
Oh. Oh. Kooky Games. Nearly had a half spin coming out of Decna 2.
So I think I've just in the commentator's scores, McCrew just picked up a time penalty.
Oh.
So, yeah,
terrible.
Speaking about time penalties, Kelby, of course, gonna remember he has this in hands, basically. With Kooky Games and Sparls having both a time penalty, he probably knows it. Let's see, he's 9 tenths behind the Red Bull driver. Could be having a bit better exit out of Spoon there, does look like. Although I think Hilbert looks to be gaining still, so he might have some lower wings and from more straight line speed. Gary is still on the back of Commentalist, but he can't get through, it seems like, and he's now dropped off a bit, 7 tenths between those two.
Yeah, he had a moment coming out of the hairpin. I rode on board with him. He had a moment coming out of the hairpin, lost a bit of time. He also lost a little bit of time more out of Spoon, and that's why he's now 7 tenths off the back of Mentalist. Everyone looking good out on track. Mark down in 16th, now coming under a bit of pressure from B. Morgan, who started up in 9th position. Mark starting in 7th. These guys will be hoping to try and pick up a good result out on track. It hasn't gone their way though out on track in terms of strategy. McCrew is on the back of Dylan. Gary on the back of Mentalist. I don't know where to turn. 3 laps to go.
Yeah, it's looking very close still. Let's see. Of course, the wet conditions prevent a few moves from happening. It's quite a bit more difficult to actually go for a move in these conditions. Kooky Games seem to find a bit of pace once again now out of the second range as he's drifting through the hairpin there.
My God, how's he kept that going? He's lost half of his lead though. That is costly for Kooky Games. He should have just tried to keep that. No style points, by the way, here in Division 2. But Kooky Games, if that was style points, I'd probably give him about a 7. And again through Spoon. He's losing the back end here. Killer Blue's on the back, and Killer Blue looks quicker now. Sporthole could get into this as well, and Killer Blue on the back now of Kooky Games. This could be a big grandstand finish with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, let's see how this pans out. And will Killer Blue go for a move here?
Oh, he's late on the brakes.
Coming close. And he will try to get a better exit out of the Castillo triangle. Let's see how he gets that down. Kooky seems to be having a bit better exit there, and Spalt isn't far off either. Let's see. Killer Blue is not close enough for a move here. McCrew maybe on Dylan. No, that's not close enough either. Dylan having a good exit. And look at Nico. He's close up to Gary now. Gary's struggling. He's dropped up for the back of the Mentalist here. And the 2 racing points are getting closer together.
Yeah, Nico 9/10 off, now a second off, so that gap just beginning to extend out. J. Paul's getting close to YHYY, and Mark getting under pressure from B. Morgan out on track as well. And B. Morgan is right on the back coming out of the final corner through turn 18. Nice control through the car, and now the Mercedes chasing down the Ferrari down towards turn 1. Remember, no DRS, so B. Morgan will be hoping they can try and get the move done somewhere out on track, but I don't think he's going to get it through turn 2. Oh, and he goes into the back of Mark.
Bit of lob tap there, yeah, and settles the Mercedes a bit, but he keeps it out on track. And
Cookie Games again pull-wrecks it out of hairpin.
It does look like he's a bit struggling with that rear end. Killable looks to be quite steady here. So is Killable going to go for the move or is he just going to stay behind? Let's see.
Killer Blue, I think, is going to throw every single card now onto the table. 3-second time penalty for Mark. Picked up earlier, well, just in behind on the track, I should say. Killer Blue on the back of Cookie Games. And again, oh, he's totally, I thought he was going to totally mess up there. Oh, and Spotholt's left the session!
Ooh, that's...
Quick! Give him an invite, somebody! He's in third. Final lap of the race. Killer Blue's on the back of Cookie Games for the lead of the race. This is going to be quite interesting. Cookie Games, the Slovenian. Again, Slovenian, I should say. Killer Blue against the Brit and Ferrari.
And look at McCrew. He's getting past Dylan here. Onto the straight
Got
here, side by side. I think McCrew is past. Yes, he is.
Job done.
Gary just staying in behind Carmensless as well. Go back on to the lead battle. Still Cookie Games just ahead.
Spotholt's rejoined. He's got to take control of his car.
Will take a half a lap, I guess, because he's still got to load into it. But he's still the AI.
Oh, and Dylan! Dylan started to cut in his round through Dunlop Curve, I think that is. No, it's through 10.5. So Dylan out of the race. I'm not sure if he's lost it or if he's had contact, maybe. McCrew had just got past him, so I wonder if there's been a little bit of contact between them both. Difficult one.
Has been. They were close, but we can't, of course, say yes. But yeah, Dylan still into the wall, and it's not really helped him. Let's see, is Sparrow back in his car? It doesn't look like it. But he's completed enough of the race to probably get to the podium anyways. The Cookie Games is onto the last back straight and has the Ferrari still on the back of him. Let's see how this pans out, but I think Kilber's not close enough to go for a move.
I'll tell you what, now, hang on a minute, because Killer Blue, look at the speed of him! He's going to go around the outside into the Casio Triangle! No, he's not! Go on, get the better exit! Killer Blue, Cookie Games!
Cookie Games seems to be saying it. Let's see, they're coming across the line. Cookie Games to take the win out on track, but Killer Blue takes the win in total. Sparrow's coming up into P3, but Matty gets that in on penalties. Then Maledictus in P5 and McCrew coming around in P6. Then it's Commenceless, Gary jumping up into P6 then. Then it's McCrew 7th, Nico 8th, Commenceless 9th, Axel then in P10. Then White Hawaii and J. Cole coming around. White Hawaii, actually, Lordy's getting P12. He sees decent for me, I didn't see him. J. Cole on 11th and White Hawaii into 13th. Then it's Rick into 14th. Mark and B. Morgan still close up to the line for P15. And B. Morgan getting that on penalties then. And now it's just to wait on Dylan, who has a damaged front wing.
He's trooping on that car through the final couple of corners. McCrew, by the way, missing out on Gary for 6th position by just under 2/10 of a second, and quite close actually for 6th to 10th on penalties in the end. Dylan across the line in 17th. Division 2 really getting up to its name there, I think. Fantastic racing.
Yeah, as always, Division 2 never fails to disappoint. And it's Killer Blue taking the win here, as he's been so close a couple times. As in Singapore he got past the last lap, and I think in France he lost it on penalties, unfortunately. But now he takes it, and it's Ferrari being quite happy probably, coming from P12 on the grid. And it's Cookie Games with the fastest lap, I checked that, in P2, so he'll gain quite a bit of points on Gary, 11 to be exact. Then it's the Danish duo of Matty and Sparls in 3rd and 4th. Maledictus in P5 and Gary in P6 as said before. McCrew in P7 and Nico in 8th. Then Carmentalist in P9. Dan in P10, Jake in 11th, and Lordy run up the points paying positions. Then YTY, Rick, B Morgan, Mark, Dylan, and Civic Gamer unfortunately not scoring points, and Oysen and Daniel have both retired unfortunately for them.
Oh, what a race! What a race! From dries to wets. Driver of the day for me in terms of pure drives out on track. I think Killer Blue will get driver of the day. I think Killer Blue deserves driver of the day. P12 up to the win. Fantastic drive. He pretty much undercut everyone within the pit stops. Killer Blue's my driver of the day. What about yours, Verstappen?
I honestly gotta agree on that. If anyone else, I think Maledictus has drove quite well as well. So either of those two would be my driver of the day.
Oh, absolutely fantastic racing here in Division 2. I hope you guys have enjoyed it watching on here tonight. And fantastic action out on track. A big thanks to Verstappen as well for joining me in the commentary box and essentially welcoming me in to the commentary box. So I'm only here for one night for Division 2.
Yeah, that definitely is true. Let's hope Dak can get his PS4 issues resolved, and hopefully he'll be.
Hopefully he will be back next week, and honestly we should see some great racing out on track. Next time you will see us here live for League of going to be Formula 2, and we are going to get hopefully the rerun of the British race where everyone got disconnected from Monday, so hopefully we're going to see that. And Verstappen, going to interview you, the brief interview quickly. How's your chances going into the League of Europe Formula 2 Championship on Monday?
Well, it's I'm basically out of the championship. It's not really looking too great, but I could still get a win maybe there. Britain usually quite a decent track. Like to drive it in the Formula 2 cars, as I tested out a bit before last week. Of course, being disconnected, it's quite unfortunate that happens. But let's hope everything runs quite nicely this week.
Let's hope indeed, and I'm sure you will join us then. And of course, League of Europe will also be live next Saturday. I need a reminder of what track we're at.
Yeah, we're at Britain, and that's for Formula 2, of course. But I think we are at Mexico. I'm quite sure. Hang on, I'll have a look for that.
I'm just trying to frantically get it up myself as well. Yes, it is Mexico. Round 17, Mexico next week at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. I hope you can join myself and Verstappen in our different streams next week. But a big thank you to Verstappen, of course, for joining me alongside in the commentary box. Fantastic commentary from him as always. Hopefully Dakar will be back next week. But until then, I've been James Head, he's been QPR Verstappen. Please take care of yourselves. Stay at home, protect the NHS, protect your health service as well, wherever you are from, and save lives. And Verstappen, I'm sure you'd like to echo that. And any final thoughts from you?
Nothing else than basically, once again, D2 delivers, and a really enjoyable race to watch. Because the safety car and the rain thrown in some spicy things in the championship and in the race itself. And yeah, really enjoyed that.
Really enjoyable as well. And from me, thank you very much for watching, and from myself and Verstappen, thank you very much for watching. And until next time, which will be League of Europe Formula 2, not TTL F2 that I'm thinking in my brain. For League of Europe Formula 2, join me at 7 o'clock on Monday. But until then, thank you very much for watching Division 2. And until next time, goodbye.